welcome to So You. I'm Tim,
How you doing? I'm Elle.
and So You watched the Blair Witch, and we're gonna do a part 2 on it.
Part 2.
Mainly gonna be focusing on Blair Witch 2: Book of Shadows,
Yes.
which I
Film
still don't know why it's
classic.
named.
I didn't
that.
understand the shadows, but that's fine. We'll get it.
And then Blair Witch,
Just Blair Witch.
the aptly named 2016 release. And like you said, Blair Witch 2, it's a classic, and 2016 is not as much of a classic, but good in its own right. And before we dive in, though,
Yes, that's what I was asking.
look, I have a couple thoughts.
Oh, ayo.
Tim's Daily Double. That was the jingle.
It's Tim time. Tim time.
So, I've had this occurrence a couple times in my life,
Okay.
where I get to see true freedom expressed. And one of them, I was in Austin, Texas. I was walking to work. It was a nice sunny day. And as I was taking my walk to work, I saw a bird fly from the ground, and about 3 feet off of the ground in his flight,
Mm-hmm.
he just took a shit.
Oh.
Just took one and then just kept flying.
Huh.
He didn't have to pause.
Wow.
Just freedom.
Look at that efficiency right there.
100% freedom.
Still just doing what he's doing, but
Yeah.
also...
The second time this happened to me, I was walking the bear the other day.
The bear.
And there's like this little like schnauzer or whatever the fuck.
Tiny dog.
Yeah, a little piss rat dog on the second floor balcony. And he just hikes his legs and starts pissing off the balcony.
0 fucks.
Pure freedom.
Wow.
Animals have freedom.
That is real freedom right there.
Freedom in the ability to just piss and shit without taking a beat, man.
No.
No beats taken, just
No,
going.
that's how-
Going about their daily lives, pissing off balconies, shitting mid-flight. And I think what I like the most
incredible.
about the bird is that it was like early in his flight. He knew. He was just like, I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna get
gonna
this.
let it rip
I'm gonna
now.
get this off my chest. The other day, and my second thought, that was my first thought, so I'm just keep it short.
Ding.
Guys, that's freedom. You know, when
It's
they
not
talk,
free.
you know how they talk about freedom?
It's not free, Tim.
You know how they talk about it?
Yeah.
That's what that is.
It's for the birds, literally.
Yeah. And so the second one, I messaged you the other day, and I said, I saw a Wrangler commercial that blew my
Dude.
fucking mind. But I didn't give you a lot of
I can't wait to hear.
detail.
Yeah, tell me about this Wrangler commercial that made you,
So Wrangler the jeans.
not the Jeep, which I did
Yeah,
ask to
not,
clarify.
Yes, not Jeep Wrangler, not the model of Jeep. But like the jeans, and you know, it starts off and it's just like I can't. They say a lot of stuff, but they end it. It's what they ended it on, and it's like honestly, it was kind of like watching a sport gear commercial.
Okay.
So well done, Wrangler. It didn't have like any, you know, like I don't know. You kind of just assume it'd be like a Ford commercial.
Sure.
I mean, we are Ford trucks. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Ford
anything.
truck.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like that at all. And it ends with like, well, you know, there's no real reason to ride a bull, but that might be the greatest reason of all. What? My mind was blown away. I loved it. I loved it.
Tim.
Did you not just get goosebumps? I loved it. I said it myself. I got goosebumps. I was like, what? Oh my God, he's right. There's no reason to ride a bull, but that's the greatest reason to ride a bull. Holy shit.
No.
It's amazing.
Listen, now I have no rhyme or reason of doing this, but that's why I'm doing it.
That's amazing. That's freedom as well.
I'm sensing a theme here. Are you feeling okay at home?
Yeah. I'm feeling like I'm free.
So
No,
did you
that's-
go and buy Wrangler jeans
see,
after that?
see that I wanted to.
Still do, clearly.
But I'm a Levi man.
Oh,
I'm
hey-oh.
wearing my pink Levi's right now.
That's right. He's wearing his pink Levi's now.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey style.
Ayo.
all right.
Yeah. And every time.
No, but,
Every time you hear his
yeah,
name, that's what you
but
have to do.
he trademarked it.
Yeah.
It went through on like Taco Tuesday though. No, but like the reason why, first of all, you didn't have the reaction I thought you were gonna, but that's fine. That's an amazing quote.
No,
And the reason why is
I
because
can't get over that. Like
the reason why it's because it's transferable, man. It's like,
oh yeah, to everything. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, because like obviously the meaning of it is like, fuck it. If you don't have a reason, man, just fucking
Just
do
do
it.
it if you want to do
If
it.
you want to do it, just fucking do it. Obviously,
Very empowering. Though.
Obviously, don't use that in evil wills and like mean spiritedly. Don't do that. Like,
Disclaimer: don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Like if you're a bully and you're listening to this, fuck you.
First off, fuck you.
And don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Seriously,
simple.
stop being a prick.
There's no reason for you to be an asshole.
Yeah, stop being a prick.
There's no reason.
And if you get pissed off because some kid's a little smart mouth piece of shit, it's just because he's smarter than you and he's gonna go a lot further.
You should be a parent with that type of advice.
Oh yeah, my kid would ruin bullies' self-esteem. No, they wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. He'd be like me. He'd smart off like a fucking pussy.
Hey,
you know, I dealt with some bullying here and there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think we've all have. Yeah, I think we all have.
I don't think we all have.
You don't think so? You don't think everyone's gone through some sort of bullying?
Maybe you're right.
It just had manifested itself in
Just
different ways.
In different ways from different people.
Yeah.
Like I imagine they were probably bullied by like, you know, maybe siblings or
exactly
parents.
It's a chain.
Yeah. But yeah. Blair Witch 2, man.
Oh.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
I didn't see any Wrangler jeans and
that's all I wanted to say.
No, I can't get over the quote, but it's pretty brilliant. I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him.
It's good. It's hard because like if you can't like I didn't even describe the commercial, but like it works. Like the commercial is
sounds like it works.
It's like building up and like I was in it.
I need to watch it.
First of all, it's an advertisement. It's an advert. Why was I watching an advert? I was in the middle of watching rugby and it came on during the halftime.
Streaming services.
Yeah, during the halftime, which is the only time there's a commercial interruption in rugby. Guys, start watching rugby. You don't get interrupted.
Seriously. Rugby, hockey.
I've already talked about that.
Guys.
But like it came on during that and like I could have just gotten up and like done literally anything else.
No, but you stayed and watched.
But it started and I was like, what is this commercial?
It's not even the Super Bowl and you stayed and watched it.
It doesn't look like a Wrangler commercial. I didn't even know it was a Wrangler commercial until the end when it said Wrangler jeans at the end. And then I was like, God damn, that's
that
a
was a
great
Wrangler
commercial. That's how you do it, man. Remember when Gillette released their Super Bowl commercial and it got like a lot of backlash, but the whole commercial, I didn't even know it was a Gillette commercial till the end.
It was a great commercial, yeah.
And it's an incredible commercial.
So, are you one of those people where, because I've heard mixed reactions to this. Some people like their advertisements to be pretty straightforward about what they're advertising. So some people don't like the whole tell this thing that's going on and then here's a product.
You know what? Fuck what. The moment I start respecting people's opinions is the moment that Jesus comes back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only did I just disrespect that idea, I disrespected an entire religious space by equating their Messiah coming back to never happening.
So in case you didn't pick that up, it's going to be a no for Tim.
Seriously, fuck you. Fuck what? Who gives a shit? That's you know what? That
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I get it. And but you know what? Fuck you to that and fuck you to the people who think books or movies need to be exactly like the books. Go fuck yourself, you fucking piece of shit.
The commercials that that aren't really commercials but are commercials, like those are
They're
usually
the
the best
best commercials.
Yeah, they're usually the most fun.
I'm sorry, was Doritos' entire Super Bowl campaign about how good Doritos were? No.
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
It literally started out as a big goof and the most ridiculous horseshit ever, and then they let people make Doritos commercials and send it in.
Time out. What was the beginning of this? A brief history.
I don't know when they decided to do it, but like one year, Doritos made their Super Bowl campaign just like really funny and irreverent comedy sketch. Literally, it's just a comedy sketch, and then they just happen to be using Doritos in it. That's not a fucking ad. Like, it's just a sketch, and then Doritos. So literally, their whole thing was like, we're gonna like pretty much just produce a couple sketches, and it's gonna be for like the Super Bowl halftime show, and that's their commercials.
So smart.
That's it. That's what it is, and they let like filmmakers do it, and you can submit shit and like win. That's incredible.
No,
so
that's
fuck
cool.
you if you don't like commercials that aren't. Yeah, fuck you. Seriously, go fuck yourself. Death Wish Coffee's biggest, like their big commercial ad that they had for the Super Bowl, was like fucking pirates and shit, and it was beautifully shot commercial. It was wild. I spent so much money on that commercial.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, yeah, Death Wish Coffee at the end. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. That's why I bought their coffee. What do you think? I bought their coffee because some dude looked me in the eyes and was like, I drink Death Wish. No.
You saw the commercial with the pirates, and you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of this.
So fuck you and fuck your opinions.
As we tell you about ours.
Yeah, no, seriously. Fuck my opinion, too. God, people fucking put so much weight into opinions. They're opinions. Like, they don't mean anything.
No.
If you don't like one, you can tell it to go fuck itself. It's just that easy, man.
It's that easy.
Blair Witch 2. Fucking
trash.
A.
Sorry.
Yes.
I didn't want to inform you, but I thought it was trash.
Yes.
A steaming hot pile of shit. Trash.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
So I read a thing online, or like a review online that was like, I really liked number 2. I thought it was one of the more original ideas out of the series, and like it's campy. And then I had to just stop because I was like, it's not campy. No. It's just filmed poorly.
Yes, exactly. Like, this wasn't camp in any way. This was just really shitty filmmaking.
Yeah, like, I like camp. That's not camp. It's not what camp looks like.
And like, so I mentioned in the previous pod, which you should go listen to if you haven't already.
Yeah, stop this pod, go listen to that, and come back.
So the second one is filmed. What is the proper term? I don't know.
Well, it's just
this is what you're here for.
It's filmed as a dramatization, which is kind of what they say at the beginning. You know how like the movies always start out with their little blurb. When the first one, it was like, this is found footage, and the second one, it was like, because of the first film, Burkittsville got blown up, and they do start out with like interviews, and some of that's like legitimate, like what happened. Like Burkittsville did get kind of bombarded after the phenomenon of the first film, and so the second one then tells you that like the story that is about to be told is based off of footage that was found, but to protect the names of the people and the faces and identity of the people, we chose to like reenact it. And so it's literally like a dramatization of it. So it's filmed like a normal movie.
I hate it.
Hate
it. Just for this, I don't know.
It's not filmed like a normal movie well.
Yeah, maybe that's why I hate it. Because it's not filmed well at all.
It's not good. It's all over the map. It's poorly put together. The pacing is weird as shit.
Yes.
The writing is bananas. The acting is awful. Like, it's not good. The writing is bad. All of it's bad.
No, seriously, all of it is bad.
It's so fucking weird to me because it's a product of its time. It's like early 2000s.
And I was gonna say, you can totally tell it's an early 2000s movie.
It's like 2001, and it's like
when you watch
like a C horror film, and like they add like a weird sexual angle to it, and it's like, and it feels so in line with the early 2000s.
Yeah,
and then there's like that super goth chick, and again, super in line with the early 2000s. And then there's a character that's like, she's like a Wiccan. She's like a
Yes,
witch, and
she's
so she
the-
just stays offended about
Apparently,
like
the very sexual Wiccan.
Yeah. And then she just stays offended the entire
Yeah.
time about people not respecting witchcraft. Okay.
Okay, lady.
Fucking A, that's such a bad movie. It has like those weird flashbacks of the main guy in like a mental institution.
So, and then we have the couple that's like writing the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to say that one of the funnier lines out of this movie that stuck with me. So when in one of that first opening scenes, we meet the tourist group. I can't remember his name, but it's Tristan and then her husband Steven.
Yeah. Okay.
Steven has his college sweatshirt on. It's
Yeah.
Colgate. And then later on, when like it's like the goth chick, and then Steven and Jeff, and they're fighting, and he's like, "What'd you have to do to get into school? Brush your teeth?" Which I thought was really funny, because if you would have remembered that the dude's sweatshirt said Colgate on it.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was like the
little
one thing.
clever
Yeah,
bit of
that was like
writing.
the one thing that made me LOL.
Yeah.
I was like, that might be the only good part about this movie.
Yeah.
But I like
You want to know what? I ended up watching the preview for it.
Oh, really? Okay. How was that? Was it trash? Also, it's mini trash.
Boy, it's a product, man.
See the smaller trash can for the
You know,
trash it was?
like how we've pretty much foregone the guy doing the voiceover of a.
Yeah, no.
At
we
this
don't really,
point,
yeah.
it's a comedy trope for a voiceover.
In a world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, that was a good movie. You ever seen that movie? Seriously, In a World?
Oh.
It's great. Seriously, it's great.
Oh.
Go watch In a World after you listen to this. Yeah, it has Lake Bell in it. She's great. I think she directed it.
That's
or
cool.
wrote
Okay.
it. One of the two, or both. She's talented.
Yeah.
But like that's the whole like voice like narrating a trailer is a comedy bit at this point. It's like when Rick and Morty did the interdimensional TV, and it's like the two brothers.
Yes,
Two brothers. Like, that's how much of a joke it is. It's just like no one does that. Except when you go back and watch trailers and realize, oh shit, we actually did that.
That was definitely a thing.
Yeah, that's something we did. And that was in that one. It was really good.
Oh, no. How, though?
When they go to Berkeley'sville.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Like, how was that even?
To a group of fans of the Blair Witch Project. And it's like the goth chick, like, I'm a fan of the film. God, it's just so bad. It's poorly acted. I guess the whole base of the film is like,
You don't even want to talk.
fucking, it's a pain to even think about it.
Because it's kind of a clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It feels.
Yeah. It wasn't disorienting in a good way like the first film was.
No,
it was just
found
disorienting in the
myself.
second one.
Yeah,
Like,
I found
what the
myself
fuck
trying to
is
figure
going
out
on?
the consistencies of any of it,
Yeah,
like at all.
at all.
Like,
It's like the story was too. It was all just too convenient.
yeah, like, so, we just said this. I don't know why they decided to add like the mental institution part about one. Like, I would say he's the main guy.
He is, yeah. No, he's for sure.
Because he's from Berkeley'sville.
Yeah.
And once Blair Witch blew up, he kind of used it as a way to catapult like his little shop where he sells Blair Witch merch.
He's got all the merch you could ever need.
Yeah, and he started doing tours called the Blair Witch Hunt.
Clever.
And that's where you meet the other four. And those people are there just because, like we said, one's writing like a paper on it, and the other one just like, I like the movie. Yeah, what a motivation for a character to be there. It's so fucking stupid.
She's a fan, okay?
Jesus fucking Christ. And fucking A, man. They go to like the place where they found the film from like the found footage of the first one. All the while they're recording all this, of course.
Time out. I have a question. Is that house that they find all the tapes in? Is that what's supposed to be the leftovers, or of the original house, or is this just a separate compound?
I think it's just a separate
Okay.
compound.
I was kind of. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of confused about that.
I'm
part.
not sure.
Because
Well, that's the thing is the second movie just. I don't even know what the fuck the Blair Witch does.
yeah.
The second movie throws it completely off its
Because
head.
we don't even talk about the Blair Witch in the second. Really, it's just
No.
it ends up turning into like the. I mean, I guess it's like the girl gets taken over,
Yeah,
but not even.
It's wild.
I don't know. I didn't really. There was no clarification on how the puzzle pieces fell in together.
because they're not like on a hike.
No,
they go
'cause they're
back to
just-
this guy. They go back to this guy's like warehouse house that he got.
Yeah, see, we don't even actually know what happened, like how it even happens, right?
Yeah.
Because the way the story is unfolded for us is that they think that they're pretty much hallucinating.
Yeah,
and
they-
think that Tristan is.
They go, yeah, right. They go out. They camp at the site where the original footage was found. They wake up in papers like everywhere.
They get hammered and they're
Yeah,
smoking a lot
they-
of J's the night before.
Yeah, and Tristan it does show like Tristan having a dream of her like drowning a baby, something like that, having a miscarriage,
which
whatever.
was you could tell it was a very fake baby, by the way.
Yeah.
Which made me LOL.
It-
But anyway,
honestly, it looked like towels folded up.
It's
And just get a doll and coddle it. Like it literally just looked like towels folded. It looked like she was
and
fucking.
the baby. Yeah, it looked bad. It was an awkward scene.
It just looked like she
But-
was room service. Need fresh towels?
And blood on them.
God damn it. And they wake up and like after that premonition, which again, and it's filmed in such a way that it makes you so confused because it jumps around so much.
Yeah.
It like goes from his like it starts out after the opening like interviews and shit.
After in the opening
jumps-
metal credits.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It has like this fucking
Jesus.
metal rock going on the entire time. It's so dumb. And then like it jumps to what's the main guy's name?
Jeff.
It's like showing these doctors
He's in some
doing
sort of
some
mental
like
asylum.
operation on
Yeah.
him, and you have no idea what's going on.
You don't know why he's there.
You don't know why it jumped to this. You haven't, and then it leaves it,
Yeah, the last shot is him just like in the
and he's in a fugue state, and then it just leaves.
And then next we pick up. We don't know how much later. Obviously, it has to be a while because his hair's buzzed in that first
Yeah.
scene, and then his hair's nice and long as we.
Why
pick
this
back
is
up.
why any of those scenes are in
It's
there?
not It's. But you know what though? I think it plays to what you were saying about how it's an early 2000s movie, and it's like, oh, you're quintessential loony bin character. Oh, you're quintessential goth character. Like it.
Yeah,
It's not.
But all it does is just leave you in a muddled
Super
mess.
confused. Yeah.
I'm not like seriously. I watched the second one when I was younger, and I
Okay.
remember specifically going, "That movie sucks," and I never watched it again. So when I watched it this time, I really had it was gone from my memory. I completely purged
you
it. And
blacked
so
it out.
as I was watching, I remember it being like 5 people, and it wasn't anything like the first one, and I hated it.
Yeah. No. Definitely.
And so when I rewatched it, and it just jumps to that scene, and it's like the hokiest fucking like the doctor's like smoking a cigarette, and like it's
Mhm.
just like it literally looks like a shitty low budget like 90s sci-fi film.
Yeah. And then you see him, and he's pretty much having like a seizure on the table,
Yeah.
and he's not moving. And so, like, honestly, like with the way it's set up, I originally was like, is this just all a dream?
Yeah.
Like, is he just having an episode?
Exactly.
Like, what is?
It just does not.
doesn't make
it doesn't
any-
convey.
And it never. And the end is never tied up, ever.
Yeah, and so okay, they fucking they camp. They wake up. They find the camera equipment that he brought out. Jeff's camera equipment is all broken and fucking beaten up to shit. The guy's what's his name? Steven's work.
It's Steven and Tristan. Okay.
Yeah.
But he would not like to-
Tristan's the wife.
Yeah.
Steven's like his work is ripped up and it's like floating down on them like it's snow or some
Mhm.
shit.
Which doesn't. Anyways,
Which
doesn't
doesn't
make
make
any
sense
sense
because
in the timeline of events,
when they later reveal how that happened,
There's no
it
way
happens. Yeah, there's no way it would still be falling.
Right. By the time they wake up the next day.
So stupid.
Anyways.
Either way,
Continue.
they're kind of, confused, but in the end of the day, they still have footage, and so they go back to Jeff's domicile.
Yeah.
To look at it.
He lives in a warehouse, like you said.
Tristan's shook from her.
She lost her bib.
From her whole thing. That's right. That does happen. I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
Right. She does have a miscarriage, and that's when they get in the van and they rush to the hospital. She has like a sight of like a weird, terrible ghost CGI girl, or not CGI, but like superimposed girl. It looked really bad. And she's like, I'm not staying here. She tells her hubby. And so that, again, that's when they finally make it back to the domicile. And he's like, yeah, we'll just look at it on the thing.
I have editing equipment.
Yeah, I have some pretty high-tech editing equipment. Whatever, exposition. It's bad, guys.
Expo. You can't even...
It's hard. It's hard. I don't know where to go with it. Because I also forgot that the goth girl has like a borderline premonition thing.
Which then stops working halfway through the movie all of a sudden. What the fuck? Doesn't make any sense. And then
just because I'm not going to sell the thing short. A lot of shit happens when they're at the domicile. They look at the footage and they start to see stuff, or where they see glimpses of stuff. And then like they see that the timestamp changes a lot. They're all kind of having these hallucinations.
But yeah, they are. Mm-hmm.
It kind of accumulates. Tristan's losing her fucking mind. She's kind of like in and out of a fugue state. Well, you believe she's losing her mind.
Right.
Because there's a twist ending that wasn't really a twist. And ultimately, they're trying to get out of there. Well, except for Jeff, but like everyone else is like, yeah, we're leaving, we're done with this.
Yeah, fuck the tour, we're over it.
But shit happens that stops them from leaving. I guess that's in line with the Blair Witch. But the premonitions don't really make sense.
It doesn't fall in line with the lore of the Blair Witch, because it's like it would make sense if all this stuff was happening if they were in the woods,
right?
But they took something with them. Because then doesn't that go against the because in theory you're not leaving, which we're going to talk about that in the third film, because the Lane thing kind of I'm still kind of confused about what the fuck happened with that.
Right.
But yeah, it kind of the second one. But I should back up. When you watch it and you're like, oh, this Wiccan character, you're led to believe that she's the one.
Right.
Especially because then in the video footage you see her.
Right, you see her like naked.
Naked.
Get your jollies off. Because for some reason they added some weird fucking sexual thing to it.
Yeah, because they were... I don't fucking know.
It's really weird and off-putting.
It's totally 2000s. Let's see if we can get a naked girl and scream.
Pretty much.
That's it.
She ends up being the first one that like disappears. And they find her like in the closet, just dead.
Facing the wall.
Yeah, facing the wall. But nothing
giving or telling
specifically that killed her.
And they all have these weird markings on their body. Apparently.
Yeah. And they keep having that like image of like the kit, like the slitting of people, like stabbing people and stuff. You know what I mean? Like the shirtless people. And it's meant to be the what's that fucking rock called? They mentioned it in the first one. That's kind of where things go awry in the first one.
I almost said Capitol Rock, but it's not Capitol.
Coffin Rock. And in Coffin Rock, the whole idea was like that the lore behind that is that originally it was 5 searchers of children. They end up finding the children, but during the big like party search of 100+ people, 5 of them were found tied and mangled in like a pentagram shape.
Mm-hmm. And the insides cut out,
yeah. And that was talked about in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the second one,
I guess that's kind of the main...
In the second one, here's what happens. They end up doing that to this other tour group that happened to be in the woods at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
They end up doing that. You find that out, but to find that out, they take you on the weirdest and most asinine route to find that out. Pretty much all the characters. Tristan, you're being led to believe Tristan's the one losing it.
Yeah.
She's not. She's
I guess, the sane one, I guess.
You find out once they decode the video footage through some weird riddle.
Because she's figured out it's backwards somehow.
But if she's the sane one, then I don't know.
Again,
it just doesn't make sense.
The plot line, it's just too convenient for them.
But they figure it out, and then they pretty much put in the video thing in reverse, and they see the time code skip. They get to see what actually skipped.
Right.
And it's them fucking each other in a big orgy, bashing all the equipment, and tearing up all the
papers.
paper, and they disappear for a bit, but then they come back, and that's when they all like pass out and whatever. That's what happens in that time gap.
And again, you find this out in like the last like 10.
What the fuck?
10 minutes of the.
Yeah.
It's like super, like I said, super convenient.
And it's just weird, and so Tristan's going on this big thing about, and it's kind of like, oh, she's the witch or whatever, or the witch came with her, yada yada yada, and so she's being made out to be evil. And then you find out through all the actual video footage that it's them. It's Steven, Jeff, and Goth Girl, who are
Heather.
Actually
that was the first one. What the fuck is her name?
I don't fucking care.
Damn it. She has a name too.
Those are the ones that are actually crazy.
Yeah.
Like they killed
Erica.
they killed the witch lady, the Wiccan.
Or he killed her.
Yeah, Jeff killed her, put her in the closet, but their minds are seeing it differently.
Yeah.
And the Goth Girl goes to grab beer, and
she kills Peggy.
She kills the cashier Peggy, but she doesn't think she did. All she thinks she did was like grab her throat.
Yeah, because then when you
and then in the lamest car crash of any cinematic world I've ever seen,
dude.
They clearly only had one van, and so they're like, yeah. And then those ghost children get in front of you. You're already driving, and so you swerve to miss them, and then you lightly bump the tree because we don't have another vehicle and we have to destroy it one time only.
Please don't mess it up.
And so she literally just
taps it.
She's in the cut is so bad, like the cut in the film is so bad that it's like she looks like she's driving in one cut, and in the next cut you literally see them go from parked to like rolling idle into the tree.
No.
It's so bad.
Guys, I don't think this is how this works here.
Yeah, it's bad. But yeah. Also, this entire time, they're being interviewed by the police.
Yeah, so then we flash back to, like I said, it's like
It's literally just, the whole movie is like mingled. It's mingled flashbacks at different time periods. The whole film. It's nonsense.
And, okay, so it talks about Book of Shadows. Where is the book? What shadows? There's none.
Seriously.
What is it?
Guys, the second movie is fucking trash.
It's trash. And so I really like Jeffrey Donovan as an actor.
He's incredible. Matter of fact, he's the only one who acted well.
Yes.
In parts, it was a little over the top, but
for the most part,
in the general sense,
yeah,
he was the only one that acted normal.
I think he was the only one
as an actor.
Yes. Well, he obviously had a career after that, so.
Oh yeah.
But
Jesus.
Yikes! It was really rough. So you bring it up to a good point. Again, this film is also an hour and a half, hour and a half, 90 minutes. This was so. It was a hard hour. Like at one point, I paused the movie and was like, I don't even want. Like the first movie, I was watching all the way through.
Right. It's
and then
slow,
by the time
but it works.
and then by the time you actually get to that build up, you're not leaving your seat.
Exactly.
You're not pausing. You're gonna finish it out.
I remember when I was telling you, I was like, we should do the fucking Blair Witch as like our last like Spooktoberfest pod. And I was like, we gotta fucking do the Blair Witch. That sounds awesome. I haven't seen the movies in a while. It sounds great.
Yeah.
I was like, the first one's great. I even said like, love the first one, shitty second one, and the all right third one.
And that's the accurate ranking.
And then you were like, and I was like, I'm gonna binge them all Tuesday. And you were like, awesome. You're probably gonna have to take a break between 2 and 3. And I was like, we'll see.
No.
Fucking A.
No.
After the second one ended, which I paused more than once.
Yes, exactly.
I went on like a 45-minute walk with my dog. I was like, I can't.
It was hard to finish, man.
It's bad, man.
It was
sucks.
bad.
It's a bad movie.
I feel like
Bad movie,
there
man.
could have been multiple times I probably could have just like skipped through like a quarter like to the quarter of the movie,
Yeah.
and halfway through the movie, and then 3/4 of the movie, and it would have probably made more sense than me just actually watching it all the way through. It was awful.
Because again, it just jumps around so much.
And again, so then the third film, Blair Witch, is also an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So that one's actually it's paced pretty well.
Right. So
along the lines of the first one. So I guess we could go into the third one.
Number 2 sucks. Here's the third one.
Overall.
They almost borderline write 2 out.
They don't even act like 2 existed.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
Pretty much.
Because it doesn't make any sense to the actual storyline
at all.
either, so I'm okay with that.
It doesn't even fit like
No.
No. So the third one. The whole idea, I remember in 2016 when those previews were coming out, I was actually really excited because, again, as I said, I love Blair Witch.
Yes.
I love the Blair Witch Project.
Yes.
And so when I saw previews for the new one, I was like, oh shit, they're going back to the roots. That's sweet. Like, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was a reboot, and then after reading about it, I found out it was a sequel, and I was like, oh shit, that's even cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Blair Witch 2016 is paced identically
Yeah.
to the first film.
And it's pretty like kind of the same thing. Like,
Exactly.
we've got a girl, she's trying to make a documentary for Heather's little brother.
Which is the ding that it got. So the consensus of 2016 Blair Witch is that all it does is make you think of the first one.
Yeah.
And they're right.
It does.
It doesn't do enough by
No.
itself.
Yes. I'll agree with that.
Here's why I'll probably never watch it again.
Okay. Why?
By the time it came out, found footage was waning and had been perfected. It really had. I mean, and that's my issue.
So found footage, Paranormal Activity.
Yes.
Yeah,
fucking A. There's
so many, like
many,
Amityville Horror.
so
I think
many,
I remember
like
films
there's,
like that though.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity. There was what's that one where they all get abilities from that like fucking rock or whatever. It had Michael B. Jordan in it.
I remember seeing the trailer for
And
that.
about a million other found footage films. There's a fucking Area 51 film that is found footage. You name it, it's been done. Cloverfield, Quarantine.
So if you can't figure, so the found
Guys,
footage is just essentially shaky cam.
Some of those
docu-styles.
films are good.
Yes, they're great.
Quarantine being one of them, based off the Wreck series from, I believe, Mexico.
Okay.
Also, Wreck is amazing. Quarantine and Wreck are the same film, though. Like, it's
okay, so it's
shot for shot.
Okay.
Still both good. I've seen both. Cloverfield, incredible. Fuck anyone who says it's not. So there were good found footage films. And Paranormal Activity is one of them. But it got perfected. And that's why it stops working.
Sure.
Because, and I mentioned this in part 1 of our podcast, the energy behind the first one, this completely like no budget.
Mm-hmm.
It was shot that way not because it was thought to be, we're going to make a found footage film. It was shot that way because that's how they could do what they could do with the budget they had in mind. And they were like, okay, we can do like a scary movie. We can make it about this. Great. We should, since we can't show anything, we should keep it as tight as we can.
And it works.
Voila, found footage.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. And it just like, the 2016 one, it's a little bit too polished.
Yes.
It's a little bit too clean of a story. It's just too clean of filming. the people are too pretty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the actors are too good looking.
Mm-hmm.
The sound, like there's a low, like when something creepy's going on, there's like that low bassy rumble that doesn't exist in nature, but it's
Yes.
in there, and when I was watching it, it took me right out of it.
You're
I
like,
was
something's about to happen.
I was like, why is there this going on the entire time?
Mm-hmm.
That's a product of new found footage films. That's
Yeah.
a product of that.
Yeah.
It's meant to like prime you. But the first movie didn't do that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it didn't have that weird ominous tone.
And
it
it's
was
'cause
just silence, which is
Right.
scarier.
And we take our so many cues when we watch film or television comes from the music behind it.
Right.
It subconsciously sets you up.
So my consensus is where like, yeah, I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm not gonna ding it because it makes me think of the first one. Why wouldn't it? It's called Blair Witch.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna ding it because it paces a lot like the first film. Not gonna ding it for that either. But what I am gonna ding it for is that it's too polished. It doesn't. It's too polished, and it's too found footage in the wrong way. Like the jump scares are audio. You can hear there's too much like mic ruffling that just makes me feel like, yeah, this is, which I know that sounds counterintuitive. It's like, yeah, but that's kind of documentary, like mic ruffling. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Well,
like you don't do that when you're making it's just not natural.
Well, to add to that point, so when I got done watching the first one, I have that knowledge that it's not real, but I'm like, oh, that looked like it was kind of real, right?
Yeah.
You get done watching the third one, you're like, okay, that was a good movie.
Exactly.
That was an alright movie.
Exactly.
The first one,
They bring you in a reality that's, you know,
it's really well done. Really,
your disbelief can't, like it's always going to be suspended when you watch the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't it? There's nothing that looks overtly wrong. There's nothing about it that pulls you out of it. There's no audio cues that are too much. There's no digital like interference on the screen, which they killed. They did way too much of that.
And it's like you said, noises like that aren't really in nature.
No.
And so that's
every
really,
time like a mic goes down, it was like the microphone rattle, and it's like
that doesn't happen.
It's like, guys, I've hit my pop filter and mic about 4 or 5 times this entire podcast, and I guarantee you when I listen back, I might hear 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because it
doesn't pick up like that.
Doesn't pick up like that.
No.
And that stuff is added post.
Right.
That stuff is sorry, Maya's being a grouch.
Not showing her enough attention.
Yeah. But like, and so at the end of the day, while I thought the film was okay and it had its good moments, some of the scares are cheap. They're just like your classic, like big audio jump scares.
Yeah.
There's nothing scary on the screen. It's just like a big loud noise. You know, I hate that shit.
No,
it's why I didn't.
Good.
It's actually why I didn't like Insidious.
Insidious.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that
in
a while.
Insidious and The Conjuring came out around the same time.
And wasn't that heavily music based? If I remember correctly, the scares. LOL.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, maybe it wasn't The Conjuring. Maybe it was Mama.
I think it's Insidious.
It was Insidious and Mama. Or it was one of the. It was like there were 2 horror films that dropped close because it was that time of year. 2 horror films dropped really close, and Insidious resoundingly was the one that everyone loved.
Yeah.
And I laughed. That movie is comical. Like it's comical. The acting is kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like. And again, yeah, it's very like audio based. It's very like, let's make a really loud sound.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, like, I remember, and I'm not like a hard ass, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get scared. Like, I'll play into it, but I just remember like when we would have these movie nights and these quote unquote scary movies that we would watch, I'd be like, this wasn't scary at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like
if you watch, I'll tell you what, you watch scary movies in group settings, it's a little bit easier.
It is.
It is. Well, again, and I've been harping on Blair Witch 2016 a lot. Here's some things that they did well. What the Blair Witch does is escalated, and I think it's escalated well.
Mm-hmm.
It feels right. It feels like if I even thought this when I was watching it, I was like, man, if this movie came out like 3 years after the first one, and it did. When the Blair Witch is actually doing stuff like ripping up the tents and like that shit, like if that happened 2 years after the first one came out, like a few years, and they like made an actual sequel, that would have been awesome. That's exactly what you want from a sequel. You want it to be slightly escalated. You want that slight escalation of like what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like what the Blair Witch is actually about. Because now, you got more budget. We expect it. We expect to see more of that.
Right. And because
they did that really well.
Yeah. Because honestly, if you think about it, because I don't even think they made the first one with the idea that they were going to make a sequel or have one.
No.
But the way the first one ends, like you don't really know that much about the Blair Witch itself. And so in the third one, when they talk a little bit more about the lore and how and what she can and can't do and how you can survive, quote unquote, and like the causing of like the forest or you're unable to leave essentially. Yeah, it's explained in the third one, which really makes it like a very satisfying viewing experience in that sense.
It does, and it gives you more to that lore that everyone was so obsessed with in the early 2000s. Like that like that's what we wanted more of, not Blair Witch 2, but Shadows. So I give Blair Witch 2016 that much.
Yes.
I just, again, everybody's a little bit too pretty. It's a little bit too neat. It's just, it feels produced. It feels like there's too much production in it. And I know that's a weird ding. Like, I know that's weird.
But it's just because of the nature and the style of the film.
Yeah, it's just because of
series.
What series it is. Exactly. Like, and I don't know. I thought some of that stuff was a little bit too much. And I think seeing the witch as much as you do is kind of annoying.
And it's funny now because I remember seeing the first one and I got kind of annoyed because you don't really see the witch. But then after watching the third one, I was like, I prefer the first way better because it forces you to kind of use your imagination, which makes it scarier, right?
I don't know why. I'm just that type of viewer, I guess, and it always confuses me. When people just want more of something, they want to see more of something, and I don't know. I like if a film does it well and they do it right.
You don't need to see more of something. Usually,
like
it's explained in some way.
If you can create it yourself, it becomes your worst fear, not something that they're trying to make your worst fear, and that's better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's honestly, that's why people say that's why people will say like the book It is better than the movies will ever be. And like, of course, because it's based off of it's a description of things that you get to create mentally. It's not them forcing something. If you tell somebody a descriptor of something and they create that mentally and they get to create all the grossness and the things that scare them, and then if you show them a picture of something that you were like, this is scary, it's not going to work on everyone.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not going to work on everyone. It's not going to suit everybody. And while, I think the scraggly, lanky witch lady looked creepy, I think at the end of the day, I was just more terrified thinking that it was, I don't know what I thought it was, just something that you couldn't see.
Yeah.
Just like...
This is a random aside. This is how I know. So Call of Duty just dropped the new one. And I was like, this is how I know I've been playing too much COD, because the way she was rounding the corners was stressing me out. Because I was like, why aren't you rounding the corners better? Because she was just fucking going. And I was like, no, you gotta wing around the rotation. You gotta like get ready to go. That was my own, but I was like, okay, you need to take a step away from the controllers.
And I will say,
my random side.
And you mentioned about like the technology that they used.
Yeah.
They didn't really use the drone that much.
Okay, can we...
Which
Listen,
is annoying.
Thank you. And also, like, we've scouted the area, right? And so the first time that they send the drone up and they literally don't see anything around them for miles, is that not like a red flag for you?
Yeah.
Like, immediately off rip.
Yeah. Also,
bruh.
In the wood, and I guess they went, I don't know where they filmed this. It does not look like the same woods at all. It's way more like the woods are claustrophobic in this one.
Yeah.
Because everything's like wide angle lenses.
Which
takes you out of it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But they make the forest feel claustrophobic, which is it kind of works. I feel it like because everything is just it's so much like there's so much like brush and like, there's just it's a lot thicker of a forest than fucking the first one.
So what do you think about Lane and Talia, which are like our locals that pretty much faked the video
Yeah.
that brought our protagonist and his crew?
He didn't fake it, though. It was created. The witch brought him back.
Okay, can you explain that to me? Can you explain that whole fucking thing to me?
And
Did that just go over my head?
Well, so when you watch the video and he's like, I think that's my sister. It wasn't. It was the chick. Because she found Lane's camera and she's recording with his camera. Which, why at that point? Why is she trying to record things? Doesn't make any sense. Okay. But she's doing that. And so you find out that it's her. And they kind of touch on the idea. Of like that, you know, if the witch really wants you, like she'll get you back in however she can. And so if you're looking for her, you know, she'll let you find her, essentially. Which,
creepy as fuck.
Yeah. Which is what happened.
I have a gripe. Continue on, though.
Yeah, no. Go ahead with the gripe.
Well, with our... So, oh, fuck, there's so many people. What was her name? Lisa? I just made that up. I don't think so. I don't think that was her name. But it was the girl that originally was like, we're going to film for Heather's brother. She was that girl. Mm-hmm. So, I guess would technically like the other female lead at that point. Mm. So she finds Josh. And Josh is like, you can't, like, don't look at her. She gives her the rundown. And then he hears Heather, or he thinks he hears Heather.
Right.
And then she turns around and boom,
yeah, and then he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he gets ripped away immediately.
Like, damn it, Josh. Why the fuck did you do that?
Yeah, and then she's walking.
And then immediately she does the same fucking thing. Yeah.
And then the camera ends on the exact same angle that the first movie
Exactly, yeah. On. And like the same area. It was a different room.
Yeah, something like that.
They were in the attic. That's what it was. They were in the attic that time.
But it was shifting. The house was shifting, so maybe they were. Who knows?
Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
All I know is she was around those corners well.
And that's the thing, right? Like in the first one, they're just kind of lost. They get like disoriented. They lose the map. Like nothing is where it's supposed to be. In this one, it's like way further. It's like she literally can fucking change, and it does. She literally like changes the orientation of the fucking woods, or at least your perception of it.
Right.
And it's like always nighttime. There's like a dispute between Lane and Talia, which are the two locals, because they find out that like they're kind of stringing them along. They kind of faked the video, or at least like they said they found the video, but like, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, see?
Right. They found the video. They didn't fake it. They did legitimately find it. It just happened to be from his camera. He didn't know. Lane didn't know that was from his camera. And then they did fake like the stickman ornaments the first time. And that's when they kind of blow up. That's when it's like, you fucking fake this shit, whatever. And they send them on their merry way. And they're already kind of lost at this point.
Right. Right. At this point, I probably wouldn't send the locals.
Yeah, when Lane and Talia make their way back, well, they said they hadn't been in the woods in a long time, that like no one had. So they didn't really know where they were at either.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so the next time you see Lane and Talia, they're way disheveled.
Looking rough.
And Lane mentions that we haven't seen you guys for like 5 days.
Yeah, and they were like, it's been a few hours since we...
Yeah.
And that's
so
how he knows.
So that's kind of sci-fi. That's new. That's an addition. But yeah, Lane kind of comes in and out, and he's like doing things for the witch, which I believe they reiterate in the game. I think the game has something like that.
Okay.
Where it's like someone's like just kind of doing her bidding. She's just using someone to kind of get things going. You know, she's hungry. I don't know.
Hungry like the wolf. Yeah.
No, I liked some of the story elements. I didn't do enough with the drone, so that was kind of a wasted piece of tech.
Dog. Yeah, they did not do enough with that damn thing.
No. There's a lot of like there's a lot of like goofy fucking, I don't know, like horror film tropes. Like the people are kind of dumb. They make stupid decisions. Like, also, I don't know why they added that bone-breaking sound effect every time her foot bothered her. So
did you pull out a leach? Is that what that was?
I don't know what the fuck.
Because
they never
originally,
show it.
that's what they were like when they were like, oh,
Right.
like the
It probably
leeches
was
are.
a leech. You're right.
They
have to walk. Yeah, they have to walk across like.
And they all
this
took their shoes
stream.
off.
They all took their shoes off. She like.
Which makes zero fucking sense, you guys.
Josh's friend's girlfriend.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Peter, his girlfriend.
Peter's annoying also.
Like, she cuts her foot, and like, Josh is actually like a paramedic.
Yeah, he's some sort of medical. Yeah, just the way he handles the situations.
He has his uniform on at one point, like when they're just shooting the dock or something like that. But he's a really likable character and like super calm, but he makes a dumb decision at the end.
Yeah,
he's too altruistic. But like, he's like, oh, it's really not that bad. You're fine. You're fine. He's just doing well in a crazy situation. But then like something is clearly like bothering her, and every time she steps it's like this loud and it's so jarring and stupid. It doesn't make any sense
because it doesn't do
because even when they show like something pushes on the skin whenever Peter looks at it later, because she's not doing very well, that noise just doesn't make sense. Like, what's happening in her foot? Like,
and it's like, I think, are they trying to make you believe that it's the witch in her now?
Yeah,
that came through her foot. Like, doesn't make any make any sense.
It was a weird decision.
It wasn't a good one.
Again,
there's a lot. Well, okay.
There's just stuff about it that feels too. It's just I don't know. That's very in line with shit like that.
Can you make
too much audio?
Can you? I mean, I guess Blair Witch Project is kind of the staple of it. Like, can you make like a realistic scary movie? Nowadays, I'd say I wouldn't, with the way technology is, or do you have to make it set it, back in the day, or can you do that now? Like, is that something that's even possible? Are we too jaded now?
We might be. I think people just have a problem with things being slow. I think people have a problem with like slow burns.
Yes, we do.
But like, I also don't think we truly know what we want or like. In the same fold. Like, we all act like, yeah, we want something that's intense and high intense. And it's like, yeah, Blair Witch 2016 literally does that. Yeah. It takes the first film and makes it intense.
Yeah.
Like 10 times more like shit going on. They find like Talia finds the fucking thing with her hair in it. And again, so they're calling back to that. And then like Peter's girlfriend's like, fuck this, I don't give a fuck, and like breaks the thing in half, and it breaks Talia in half.
Oh, that was actually a really good part of the...
Right, and it's like, that's like fucking intense and out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And it's like, all this shit leads up, but that film was received kind of poorly.
Sure.
By both critics and audience. It's very much like down the middle. Like, yeah, it's okay. Like, it's not good.
It's not the Blair Witch Project.
I'll probably never watch it again.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, the people who worked on it are actually two guys who worked on VHS 1 and 2.
Okay.
Which I mentioned VHS before. So they know how to make found footage shit, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
And so I mean, again, they do everything right. It's just that it's too right.
Mm-hmm.
It feels too right. There's too much audio added. There's too much extra stuff added that makes you go like, yeah, okay,
all right,
another found footage film. Like, and so I don't know. Like, can we make a realistic horror film? I think when we talked in the last pod, could you do something like Blair Witch now, like as at least marketing wise? I think you could. I think if you did the right marketing and weren't afraid to do a slower burn and just something that makes you feel truly isolated, then yeah, I think you can have something that's creepy.
All right.
I think Paranormal Activity did it. The first one.
It did.
I
No,
think
it
the
did
first
for
one
sure.
did it.
Yeah.
I think the first one did a really good job of it. You don't see much.
No.
It's very like just doors opening and closing.
Yeah.
Just more intensely, and
It's well done though.
yeah,
You
no,
are
it's
you're on the
eerie,
edge of your
it's
seat.
super
Yeah.
well done, and I'll tell you what, man, they're the first ones to add that like low rumble. And I dinged it because which is fine. I feel like if if a film does something and then you just start seeing it everywhere, you can start to ding it.
Yeah. No, I'm okay with that.
But like in 2007, the Paranormal Activity, when it's doing the time lapse at night, it's always just like this low rumble the
And that's
entire
how you know that,
time.
yeah.
And that's when you know some shit's going on.
Yes.
And in that movie, it works
So well.
perfectly
No.
because there's nothing else going on.
Exactly.
So you're just waiting for the thing to happen. That's it. It's
The
the anticipation of
yeah.
no movement. But now in so many movies, they do that and there's like talking going on and there are people moving around. And you're like, yeah, some shit's going to happen because I can hear a low rumble kick in. But like when there's nothing going on,
that's when it's scary,
and your
man.
eyes are focused and you're trying to find it. Like
yes. That makes it more fun.
there's a level. And in that way, they used a lack of movement for you to really hone in. And I think with Blair Witch, and there's other movies that do it, they use like silence and the lack of noise and like what the fuck is that? Like and so you almost find yourself trying to like lean in and hear more.
Yeah.
Which is why if you watch the Blair Witch Project with headphones,
it was good.
It's wild.
It was fun.
It's wild. I mean, because like she's even mentioning like the sounds all around us, and it's like if you're actually wearing headphones, you'll hear stereo, and it'll literally just be around you, and it's wild, man.
Yeah.
And it's faint, like the noise is faint and it's super subtle. It's not over the top. 2016, it's all loud. It's loud. The whole movie's loud. It's just too loud.
Yeah. No, it is absolutely.
You're in isolated woods. Why is it so goddamn loud?
It's not that loud.
Like it would be creepier if it was silent.
Yeah.
Void of life. That's what works. Void of life, and then you hear life that's not supposed to be there.
That's terrifying.
That's terrifying.
That's terrifying.
So 2016 Blair Witch, good film. Watch it one time. Enjoy the little pop-up scares. But overall, it's too produced. You know?
It's not.
Overproduced, as one would say.
If you're going to do a Blair Witch, let's just go with the first one. Go with the original.
Yeah, and again, I don't even know if retroactively it would be good. But, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, for what it was and how it worked and the impact that it made, I'll tell you this. Like, if you were able to enjoy like Paranormal Activity's hype and that shit, like, if you really got into that where it's like people were going out in groups, droves just to see this thing, the same thing with Blair Witch, right? Like, at the end of the day, the movies, nothing really happens. Like, have you watched Paranormal Activity recently, like 2007?
No, I haven't actually.
That movie don't have shit going on in it. But it's good.
It's good. No, it's really good.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't do a lot in comparison to like 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like, they ain't shit.
I forgot they made so many more.
They made so many more. And they're, they go up and down in quality and.
Because it was the same thing, right? With Paranormal, the first one, it was a pretty low budget.
Oh my god!
Right,
yeah.
and then it was the ratio thing all over again. Made good amount of money at the box office.
So I mean, it's again, it's like. Who knows? I know, like, I probably couldn't tell people, like, yeah, watch the first Paranormal Activity. It's super creepy. It's, I mean, I guess, like, nothing really happens, but, so, I mean, I don't know. There's some movies are just, like, staples, right? And I think the Blair Witch Project's one of them. And unfortunately, the sequel came out too late, and it's just a bit too polished for it to feel like a great sequel. I think it was never going to be as good as the first one anyway. No. But I feel like, again, if 2016 Blair Witch was made in 2003, 2004, where that found footage still isn't as produced and as stapled in cinema, I think how much they escalated things really worked.
Right.
I just think they could have done without all the noise.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All the extra noise. But yeah, I mean that's my consensus.
No, I'm with you there. It was good, but I wouldn't watch it again.
I'll tell you what, man, I had a great time watching them though.
Yeah, it was.
That was a good time.
I didn't expect that I'd enjoy that as much as I did, but
Oh man, it's so fun.
yeah.
So fun. I think it's only fun because like Blair Witch 2 and then Blair Witch aren't as like scary. And again, the first one is such like the first one is such like a product of what it is that
Right.
like it's intense, but it's not like really scary at this
No.
point because I mean, it's just the quality is just where it's at, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a 99 super low budget film.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think like if we were like, yeah, let's watch The Conjuring, I'd be terrified. Like both 1 and 2, it'd be too intense. I wouldn't be able to live.
Like we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Fuck
There's
no.
1 or 2. Just 1.
They're good movies. That's it.
That's it.
I don't think I'll
End of
ever do an
discussion.
episode of them. I don't know if I could ever watch them again.
I mean, I'm not rushing to watch that again.
Those movies are crazy. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Have fun. Watch them. Go watch them.
Go get spooked.
Yeah. Well,
Kind
maybe. I guess you can take a break.
of. You can really, actually, honestly, just go watch the
you've
first one and
yeah,
the third one.
if
Don't
you-
even bother with the Book of Shadows.
If you spent all October like me, just watching all the fucking scary things in the world, you can take a break.
I'm watching Teletubbies now. Earlier, I made the joke I'm watching SpongeBob, but that might be a little too scary for me.
Right.
I might need to bust it down to.
Teletubbies
Paw Patrol or some shit.
Teletubbies is by and
That's
far
creepy.
scarier.
That's
than
why. Yeah, that's why I was like Paw Patrol. We're gonna go with a solid, literal kids show.
Shit, yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna watch.
I-
I've been watching like a lot of comedy recently,
Dude,
just to ease my mind a little bit.
I
'Cause
know.
again,
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
again, I get scared. I don't, but like
You watch too much of it.
if you watch, it starts
it
to
gets-
rot my mind.
Yeah, it starts living in your brain, and then you can't. Takes
Yeah.
a second to get out of that.
It does.
Yeah. See, I'm not trying to. Like, I'm afraid to move back this curtain here in a second.
Right. But you know what?
No.
We'll be out of it next time on So You.